Topic C, packages. Now, what is a package? A package is a collection of modules. Why collect modules in a package? Why do these things? Well, sometimes the level of complexity is so big that individual modules are just not enough to handle it. So maybe two different people are going to make the different module, name it the same thing. There's going to be name clashes, and there's more likely to be an overlap in terms of functionality. So if you create, in a sense, a family of modules, that really helps with organization and basically clash with what other people are creating. So the overall goal is to make it easier for other developers to work with your code. So as I had already said, you generally won't find yourself creating packages unless really you're working on a larger project with a team of people. So in a package, modules are grouped together in a folder. In fact, in Python, creating a package is easy enough. It's so easy, you can just right-click in PyCharm, create a directory, put a number of modules in there, and you essentially have a package. These modules, of course, ideally should be related. Tools that perform a particular function. So the examples I have here is like tools for web scraping could be in a package like called Scrapey, or tools for natural language processing could be in a package called NLTK. There's a bit of an artifact from older Python versions, so versions 3.3 and less. Every package has this init.dunder file, so it has an init.py file. And this file is required for package to function as a package. But the newer versions of Python, package is just a folder with modules. So this is going to be an example that I'm going to be creating. So I'm going to basically go into PyCharm, create a folder called favobjects, and put two methods in it. So two Python files with methods we've previously written. And then we're going to be accessing them from a separate file. So if I was working on an earlier version of Python, in there I would have like an init.py file with double underscores. So there is a great many ways to access packages and modules, and these import statements can be a bit confusing. I'm going to, in my coding examples, use 3 of them, but here's a number. You will also hear terms like absolute and relative imports used in this, but I think the main thing that you need to understand is simply practically how to import modules and packages. So let's say if we have that folder, favobject, in it has Ka in web browser, you can actually import both of those modules by typing in from favobject. So that's like a folder directory. You import these. You can import one of them. You can import, so this is called a relative import. So you can go basically from favobject.ka. So you're basically, this is like an address, and you're importing a specific method from a specific module in a specific package. You can import essentially a module as an abbreviation. So from favobject import web browser is WB. So instead of saying web browser.webbrowser, you'll be able to say WB.webbrowser. In fact, I'll do this in the example. And you can basically import every function in a module by using this star import. All right, let's get into code and see how we can create packages, how we can import specific functionality from them. So in this video, we're going to be doing the following. We're going to start off by creating a Python package. And in PyCharm, all you need to do is create a folder. In fact, PyCharm has an even simpler shortcut. When you say new, you can click Python package. But a directory will do it. And I figure in case you do not have PyCharm, you should be able to do it by essentially going to your working folder, creating a new folder in it. That's going to be your Python package. Then we're going to put some modules in it. And for our modules, we're just going to use classes from the previous tutorial. So web browser class and car class. We're just going to drag them in. Then we're going to import them via the import statement. And after that, we're going to access the classes and create objects and perform operations. So let's get started. So right click the directory right here, up there, new directory. I'm going to call this package fav objects. That's a very non-standard name, but I don't want to make a pretentious name that looks like it's a set of tools designed to perform the same task. It's essentially my favorite objects from the previous lesson. So I'm going to drag the car in, click OK. I'm going to drag the web browser in, click OK. So now, we can move that to the top. Now we can import them. So here we can just say, hey, import. You can actually import fav objects, but then you would have to say fav objects .car to create a car. So we're going to need a shortcut here. So one thing to do is you can access, for example, the car module. You can say from fav objects .car import star, which is basically all the available functions. So that would mean that we should be able to create a car, and really I should have that towards the top of the page. So we should be able to create a car. If we say my car, so I think it was make, model, year, weight, and top speed. So my car equals to car Mazda 6 2010, weight is 1500, and it's working, max speed. So we can print my car.dictionary, and that will work. So there you go, that is my car. You can basically see the speed, the current speed is 0, so we can, one of the methods is my car.accelerate. Now that one has a default acceleration of 5, so the speed should be 5. And if you can accelerate by a specified amount, now the speed should be 25. So cool. That works off the bat. It's as if you are basically in the same file where the class has been created. So you could have done something else. You could have done something like from fav objects import web browser. Now, if I wanted to create a web browser here, I would have had to do something kind of weird, like Mozilla equals to web. And the first one is, you literally see that it's a file. So web browser dot class web browser. And then, I don't know, google.com. So you could then print Mozilla.doc, and that should work. But it doesn't, because it's the ICT. And there it is. That is the web browser object. Now, there's another way to import this. For example, you can create a little nickname for the web browser. So as WB. And all of a sudden, when you're accessing this module, the web browser module, you just need to do WB dot. And that is a bit of a shortcut. So just for the fun of it, let's navigate Mozilla.navigate, and we can navigate to google.com, and all of a sudden we should have, yes, history. You already did Google, Facebook. So we should have a history of Google followed by Facebook. Current page, Facebook is incognito, false. So there you have it. In this video, we've done something remarkable by doing something very, very simple. We created a Python package just by creating a folder in our current directory. We put two essentially Python files in it, files that had classes for car and web browser. That's the car, that's the web browser. And from an external file that we call test, we were able to access both car and web browser, use the classes to create objects, and essentially use those as a resource. And this is what makes for a good organized program.